I did it.
I made it.
You made it.
Who's here?
Everyone's
Randy's here. Hello, Randy.
Yay! Let's open the wine. He's right. Get to work.
I don't know where you got this from.
I got from the grocery store.
Oh, when?
Like
recently, you mean?
Yeah. Who'd I go with? Max for something. Oh, yeah. I feel like...
I went with Max, our 4-year-old.
Well, Max and I go grocery shopping together.
This is a sweaty one, too, huh?
Well, it was in the thing.
It's
and
like perfect.
there's my hair on it, too. Ew, gross. All right.
This is new.
It is new.
Josh now has Prosecco Rosé.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
I thought
it's like a combo thing?
we would invite Josh to our happy hour.
Well, you know what's his name for his dad, right?
His dad is also welcome.
Okay.
So
Hey,
I don't know.
there it is.
So it's rosé prosecco.
Because you know you like that bubbly stuff.
I love the bubbly stuff now. I'm like really into it. See, Scott says it's a good choice of sparkling. So I'm presuming he's had it.
Well,
You
I don't
know?
know. I can't speak to Scott's experience.
Look at this. Art. I was just cruising Instagram. I saw Lindsay's post. Didn't realize it was time. Yes, I put up an Instagram story saying we're going to be late, which we're not as late as I thought. I walked in here around like 4:10ish and was like, we're going to be late, dude. Because usually Matt's already setting up.
Oh, I was setting up just for something else.
He was setting up his
I got
metal
duct work.
thing.
Duct work.
Yeah, there you go.
Finally.
Finally. That was so anticlimactic. It wasn't even a pop.
That was nothing.
That was nothing. Oh, man.
That smells good. So how's everybody having a good week and whatnot? What's going on in the world of the legal stuff?
Nothing I can talk about. It's all attorney-client confidentiality.
Well, I don't know. There's like some new regulation or...
I mean, in Minnesota, they're ramping off some of the COVID things that were in place. So right now, and I think it's true everywhere too, though, well, who knows? I guess every state can do their own thing, but Minnesota, our mask executive orders changed, so it's that. Now you don't have to wear masks if you're fully vaccinated.
You're so, like, talkative.
I mean, there's really nothing to it.
Not as good.
This is not as good as what?
That one we have.
What other one?
One you like a lot.
Well, they're not like the same drink.
I know, but if I had to choose a Prosecco,
Okay.
I would choose the other one.
All
That's
right.
what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's bubbly.
It is bubbly.
It's pretty good.
All right.
What you got for me this week? You plan anything?
Huh?
You plan anything?
Me? Of course. It's your thing. This is your thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're just here.
I'm just here as a moderator. That is my job, is to moderate.
Yeah, you're like that wall.
What does that mean?
Like the gatekeeper or whatever.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
What a wall. No one calls a moderator a wall. When someone's
they
like moderating a like
I've
panel.
seen some moderators. They should be walls.
Weird. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either.
All right. From Dave Curta. Matt, do you not like your Laguna dust collection? I can answer that for him.
Perfect. I don't have to be here. I told you.
The answer is not very much.
I think we talked about that.
A while back,
When
yeah.
was that? Like 2 months ago?
What the hell's that sound?
That's the wind pushing on this door.
Okay, so we can die soon from this falling on us?
No.
I'm worried.
I think we had a little rant on that
Yeah.
at some point. I don't remember what episode that was. Not that these things have like episode numbers or anything.
No.
But no, it's not very good.
Matt would not, this is not one of his recommended buys. So,
No.
put that money elsewhere. If it was up to him. In your shop.
Oh.
This thing is making me super nervous.
It's windy outside.
I know, but like I know how heavy this thing is. I've helped move it. It's gonna hurt.
It's not going to fall over.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's just a door.
I know, but it sounds creepy. It sounds like it's a door opening in a haunted house, and it's going to be like on our heads. At least you'll live get to watch me get smushed, so that's entertainment value.
I won't save you.
No, you're like, this is for the
That's
show.
what's going on right now.
This is for the
There's
show.
no saving. No husband saves at all.
No, you're like a documentarian where you're like, I'm
It's
just
true.
here
It's gotta let it happen.
Gotta let it happen. I'm not going to intervene. Okay?
That sounds like me.
That totally sounds like you. Oh, fun. Hi from Arizona. Hi.
Hello. It's probably warm there.
It's probably warm
It's
there.
starting to get swampy here.
It is. Matt, right before you started the live, said that he was very, very sweaty and disgusting.
Yeah. It's kind of hot and humid in here already.
It's very
It's a
hot.
good preview of what's going to happen like a month from now when it actually gets hot.
Yeah, actually, he was like, I'm getting air conditioning. This is a year for air conditioning. As if we've lived here for many years.
Well, I never got air conditioning at the other shop because it was always like, oh, we're going to move. So what's the point? I'm only getting like a year out of it.
Also, let's be fair. We didn't have air conditioning even in our house
I was spoiled.
for many years.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Over half the time we lived there was no air
I
conditioning.
beat you down.
He beat me down because I had a baby and then I was on maternity leave with our child. And I was like, okay, it's really hot. And
I guess when the baby's not comfortable,
no, because
baby's not sleeping.
no, it was JR. He slept pretty well-ish. But when you're
He's like
breastfeeding,
moving naked.
well, yeah, our child, like everyone was like, do you not have clothes for your kids? And we're like, well, that time it was just one kid. And we're like, it's super hot in our house. I lived in a swimsuit for a good chunk of our life in the house in the summer. Like that's all I
What
was.
animals we were.
We moved our bed.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
Only once.
I know, but it was super hot.
And we're like, the nights we go to bed and the thermostat in the house said 94. Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah, no, not going to bed.
I mean, I did.
You did. I did. I'm like, screw this.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
I'll wait and work.
Just go and sweat isn't going to do anything productive for me.
I feel like I don't think anymore, but pre-kids I had an easier time falling asleep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you.
Okay. Nothing.
Hey, I have something to tell everybody.
Hey.
If you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. There are 2 links in the description of this video to the next 2 videos which I will release that are not released yet.
What are they?
The next 2 videos in the shop move and setup. Actually, the first one probably won't work yet because I just finished uploading it, but it will work after this. The first one is a overview of the shop electrical and heat in here. So I covered everything that's what I have for like the layout of the outlets and the sub panel and how that all went. And then I talked about the in-floor heating system. And I went back to the old shop and I talked about the heater in that shop as well. Second video is on moving the hand tool cabinet. I actually shot that in January. So we're kind of jumping around.
That's okay.
My hair changes even though they're like released
Right,
in
consecutively.
episode order. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll go back in time and move the hand tool cabinet from the old shop.
So that's fun.
So I was waiting to do the electrical video.
Nice.
So I was procrastinating.
That's okay.
And then next week will either be 2 Bridgeport videos or the last time I used my sawmill at the old house.
You mean like hidden in this?
No, that's like next week's videos.
Oh, like on your to-do list of things to do, or that
Yeah,
are
for
actually
next-
being released?
The 2 I just mentioned will be released this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday,
Okay.
publicly.
Publicly. Well, yes.
And then for next weekend, I will either have 2 Bridgeport videos, a Saturday and Sunday release again, or I will just flip-flop things and I'll release the last video I shot using my sawmill at the old house.
Okay.
Which, if you do a little bit of breadcrumb following, you can already find a link to that one. And people have. You can also find a link somewhere to me moving my sawmill, which is also not released.
Could I find it or no?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, probably not.
People have found it.
Because they're smart.
I leave the little trails, and people who are not patrons
Can find it.
found them already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your mom says hi. She can't wait to see you.
I think I.
Yeah, so that is a good reminder. Next weekend, there's going to be no live.
We will not be doing a live
Because we'll be driving.
to the excitement and glee of many.
Yes. The excitement and glee of many. But also to the sadness of the people that matter more to you.
That's true.
But
I'll be visiting my parents.
that's true. Yeah, we're going to be driving. It's a little bit of a drive. About 6 hours with no stopping. Well, actually, now it's less. It's like 5.5.
Yeah, we got kids still, so what used to be with kids was like 8 or 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's maybe 7.
Right. I mean, I think it also depends a lot on timing. If we leave, like when we go home, we'll leave in the middle of the night, and then it's pretty much a straight, like one stop because they're sleeping.
It'll be probably just like a hair over 5 hours to get back.
Yeah.
Something like that. Probably 7 to go down and 5 to come back. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, that'll be
Okay.
nice. I don't know what we're doing though, like plan wise.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I guess your mom can tell us.
Ribs?
What?
Ribs?
Ribs? Apparently Matt is ordering ribs.
Pasta meat? I don't know. Things my dad makes. I don't know.
That's your only plan is eating.
Have you met my family?
Yeah.
It's like you always just like eat the meal and you think, well, okay, we're going to do the next meal.
Actually.
And the time in between is filler. Between meals.
I do remember the first time I went to visit Matt. It was, I like kind of like was having like a mini panic attack because we had dinner and it was like what my family would consider a large dinner was like just course one. And then they brought up the second course and I was like, I can't eat this. And
I can't do this.
And you know, the Midwesternness of you is like, it's impolite not to eat food. Like you have to eat what's served to you, you know? And it was hard.
That's your life. It was hard. I had to eat.
I don't think people understand how much food it was. It was like, first here's an entire bowl of pasta, which is more pasta than I would normally eat at a normal setting. And then your dad was like, all right, here's either it was rabbit or lamb or ribs, you know, some...
Pasta meat.
What Matt calls pasta meat.
I think it's like a weird thing.
It is weird. I mean, it isn't
it's
weird.
It's like stew meat, but...
But it was outside the pasta. It wasn't...
Yeah, you take it out of the sauce.
Right, yeah.
You cook it in the sauce.
Yeah.
And then you take it out and serve it separate. So you can like put like the meat portion.
It's a meat course. I mean, it's very Italian, right? So it's like pasta course, meat course. Of course, there's like salad and your parents always have like really good cheese and stuff like that too. And then we had, I forget what was after that.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. My parents then one time came.
That was like 12, 13 years ago.
Probably more than that.
How old are we?
We're old.
Super old.
We're old. Because then one time my parents came with my brother and sister, and my brother like took like 3 bites of food and was like, I am done eating. Because he doesn't eat very much at all, and he's also vegetarian, so.
Was he vegetarian back then?
Yeah, he has been for a long, long time. He was vegetarian before we started dating.
Oh, I don't know. Mm-hmm. No one tells me anything.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah. I'm like, your mom, so you want ribs? Yes.
Or whatever. Whatever dad's making.
Right? Actually, I really like he makes this really good seafood, which is real nice.
All these fancy things.
He does. He's a very good cook. All right. So, let's see. What do you want? All right, here we go. From Alex McKay. What projects do you have planned after the chest of drawers are done?
A big project. We're taking the roof off the house.
Oh, I was like, what? What's the big project?
That's going to be...
Your full-time job?
Yeah, that's going to be my life probably as long as it takes. Probably, a good year.
Is going to be just that, do you think, honestly? I mean...
I'll probably get in the shop and make some smaller projects, but my focus is going to be to get our house back to... Get my life back... How about this? Get my life back to not having to do things on the house.
Okay.
That's my goal. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be kind of... it's going to be interesting. We're going to get into that soonish. Mm-hmm. Probably like a month, 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Right? Because, I mean, a part of it, the big thing for us is we're on other people's schedules. So, like, we're really more dependent on the architect. So it's like once the architect, we, like, finalize plans and everything, then they can start building. But, like, right now, the plans that we have, while we're getting closer to the final project, it's not buildable plans. So, really, it's like...
still, like, in the conceptual phase.
Yeah. Which... Oh, wait.
It's been good. It's been fun.
Hi, Scott. Bye, Scott.
Bye. See ya.
But based on that, doing plans, I am someone, if you like ever followed me on Instagram when we toured houses and stuff, or ever talked to me about houses, I'll tell you that I'm like obsessed with porches. Like that is... Oh man,
this is a new thing for you.
You
had to have a house with a porch. Had to have one.
Well, if a house doesn't have a porch, I'm like, it's not even a house. Like I'm that kind of really obnoxious, dramatic person.
That's you.
And that is like very much me to a point.
You're obnoxious, yeah.
Stop!
Super obnoxious.
So then we're looking at the plans for this, and so the way that it's set up right now is we're gonna have a wraparound porch, which is like my dream. And currently we have, instead of a porch, it's like a huge kind of front deck. So it goes a lot farther.
A deck, yeah.
So it goes a lot farther than like a normal porch would. Right? I would think so.
It's 12 feet deep, yeah.
Okay. What's a normal porch?
8.
Okay.
10 maybe. If it was like a super deep one, it'd be like 10.
Okay. So I am like, now we've lived here for 6 months. we're like so used to it. I love it. Like we sit out there, we eat, and because there's like no ceiling, you can just see so much. And we have, I'll brag to everyone, we have like the best land ever with the best views ever. And Matt's like, well, we realize when you put a porch, it's going to cover that. And then I was
like your field of view goes to like this, that side, but like,
yeah,
it cuts.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Because you have a roof in the way.
You're right. I was like, I don't think I want a porch, which is like my identity. Like I'm having a crisis.
My identity was so wrapped up in this porch thing.
I mean, my family's house, like we have a front porch. I have so many memories on our front porch. We have a back porch. We have a toy porch. Like porches are just really important to me. And so I was like, oh my gosh.
Now
like,
you live in that deck life.
Now I have a deck. Well, and here's the thing. I was like, Matt, is this like weird? I want to wrap around deck then. Because like this deck that we have right now, I like it. It's not big enough. I mean, you wrap that sucker around. And so Matt's like, well, it's your house. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
He's like, who cares? He doesn't care about curb appeal.
You can't see the house from the curb. There's no curb appeal. There's no curb here anyway. Literally, there's no curbs here. It's just blacktop into a ditch. There ain't no curbs.
I think that term means something else, but sure. See, yeah.
I'm very literal.
He's extremely literal. So based on that, I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, right? Okay, see, this is what Matt said too. Skylights could help with that. Matt was like, you could do open up skylight.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to have to like crowd.
It helps, but it doesn't like make you still have the same experience. But it is like drier.
Yes.
With the roof on it.
Because one of my favorite memories as a kid growing up is we would sit out on the porch while it would rain. And I love it. Like I love that. And it was raining the other day. Matt and I it was just drizzling.
We were sitting in the rain.
We were sitting in the rain.
Yeah. It's all right. A little wet.
And so this is also, so Art says, go for a half porch. Roof on part and not on the other part. I wish I had a porch so I could sit outside during a rainstorm or other weather. And Matt said that too. So he's like kind of been playing with the plans, like he's a quasi-architect, and being like, here.
In my head.
I know how you're doing it.
Okay. It's not a secret, huh?
He was like, I'll put you, this portion's a porch, this portion's a deck.
Yeah. We'll do like a deck section and a porch section.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of potential for interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to try and do all the trim. It'll be kind of fun.
This is news. I'm learning so much right now. What else are you going to do?
All the work. Some of the work.
Don't downplay Donovan's piece.
Whatever he doesn't want to do.
You're going to be Donovan's, like, lackey.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
He'll be like, go do this.
Yeah, what do you need? What, like, thing, like, any demo?
Mm-hmm.
That's all me.
And then he'll be like, do that better. Clean it up.
Well, we have to have our creative meeting still.
What does that mean?
As far as, like, how he wants me to portray him in the videos.
What? Like himself?
Like, what kind of acting, what kind of dynamic do you want us to have?
You're going to do an acting? I thought it was just real.
It is, but it's, like, kind of funny, like the ongoing joke. Like, am I the dummy the whole time? And he's supposed to, like, or am I supposed to, like, make his life hard, like, in a funny way? Okay,
this is still a house we're going to live in. So, like, if you're going to do, like, construction jokes, I feel like those could be expensive.
Nothing too dangerous. It's not like, oh, I didn't lock your ladder in place before you got on it or something. Like we're
yeah, don't do that. That's terrible.
It's like, you wanted this over here, right? Not over there? Ha ha ha.
Okay. This is so you. You're
Throw
like
me a hammer. Whoop.
So basically we're going to have like a Three Stooges kind of situation here.
That's like something that we're interested in.
We're interested in. We're talking to our agents about it. Oh my god.
But in all honesty, it's more like, how much does he want to be on camera?
Oh. He has a YouTube channel, doesn't he?
Yeah, but like knowing the fact that him being on camera detracts from him doing the actual work.
Oh, yes. Time-wise, like for a time frame.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
So that's the conversation.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll be fun. We're going to cover the entire thing from concept and design all the way through whatever the heck the last video is going to be.
Hopefully,
it's all done.
us living there, sleeping there, having the time of our
Hopefully
life there.
You know, all still family.
That is actually my biggest concern. Is just we really like Donovan, and I do a little bit of construction law, and stuff goes downhill. It goes downhill like hard.
Well, good thing that's down there in the field.
Okay.
Soft landing, a lot of grass.
Yeah. Okay.
Time to start mowing again.
Okay. Time to start mowing again. That sounds like you. Gosh. Your new obsession. Oh, here's a good joke. Oops, I knocked down the wrong wall. I'm so crazy. That is exactly.
Such a wild guy.
Being so silly.
Oh, please, somebody stop me.
Gosh. Oh, ridiculous. Oh, this is cool from John. By the way, thank you to Matt and Lindsay for reminding me about the Fog Harbor Fish House. We had a great time. Cheers. Yeah, that's in San Francisco.
Yeah, on the pier or whatever, whichever pier it was, 23, 20 something?
Like 29, 19.
I don't know. It's some pier with some number on it. So yeah.
That's the trip we went to right before everything
What
got
do you
closed
talk
for
about
COVID.
all the time?
I was going to put up...
The other trip you talk about all the time.
What was the first trip I talk about all the time?
Going to Italy.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to San Francisco that one time.
It was a good trip. I was going to put up a blog post about it, and then
nothing
COVID
did?
happened. Well, no, because COVID happened, so it felt like kind of insensitive to be like, here's all this cool travel stuff. And now I kind of wish I did.
Why? I can still do it.
I can still do it, but now it's like a lot more like labor intensive to be like, I have to find the photo. It'll, tell me where I took everything, all the pictures.
Do that instead of listening to your books like you always do.
I love reading.
You're not reading.
Okay. You're one of those.
To you.
He's one of those snobs. Oh, funny. Okay. From another Matthew. Hey, Matt, I'm a beginner woodworker who's been blessed with about 200 board feet of dried black walnut, all live edge, along some insane maple. Any tips for setting up a small workshop from scratch? I think that you're like...
Setting up a workshop from scratch, but the wood is not really relevant to the shop?
Well, maybe he's like, I got a bunch of wood, and now I got to use it.
Okay, let's make sure you weren't missing anything, because it's very cool that you have a nice collection of stuff to work with. But also, we got to set up a shop.
Yes.
So, what kind of space you got? It's probably going to be like the first thing.
Okay.
Is it a garage? Is it a basement? Is it a porch?
I mean, God willing, it's a porch.
So you have all that. Well, do you have any tools already? It is a small workshop. Yeah, so like, do you have any tools already? Do you have any kind of like access to electrical power for you to do power tools? Are you trying to do more hand tool stuff? Do you have any projects in mind that you're trying to achieve from this 200 board feet of wood?
I know that your answer to that. Matt always says when people are like, what tools should I get to start my shop? He goes, doesn't matter. What do you want to make? Buy your tools off of what you want to make.
That's what I did. At least. And then you get to a point where you have everything, you can make anything.
Right.
I'm getting there still.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're fine.
It's a fleeting goal. Quite a bit. But pick your projects and then figure out what you need to make them with.
He's gotten a 10 by 20 wooden shed.
Oh, that's a good start.
Okay.
That's like a one stall garage.
Oh, that's pretty decent.
It's like this.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like decide what you want to make and buy based on that. But can't you do like almost everything with like a table saw?
I mean, you can do a lot with table saw.
I mean, what would you say the most versatile tool is?
Table saw.
Look at me. Look at this.
Table saw.
I can't believe I knew that.
That's table saw, yeah. Yeah. You can do quite a bit on a table saw. You can do a lot of things that you can do easier and faster with other things or other machines and tools, but if you only have the table saw, being able to at least do it there, better than not being able to do it at all.
It's like enough to be dangerous and get a lot done.
I mean, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
So there's that. And you can get stuff done. Well, basking in the glory of the danger of it, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, once you figure out what you want to make, you can kind of go down the rabbit hole of how am I going to make this, what kind of joinery do I need, and what things we need to have in my shop to actually make that dream, that vision, a reality. Probably want some kind of work surface too.
Yeah, so he's acquired a planer, a table saw, miter saw, and the basics. Basically,
cool.
I'm ready to start to build and want to make some basic tables, but I'm worried about things like dust collection, work tables, etc.
I mean, dust collection is, as well as like less glamorous things. Like it doesn't really add to your ability to make things. It adds to your ability to like stay safe and stay clean. Like, and once you like get down the I have dust collection now path, you probably will never want to go back to not having dust collection. It becomes such like a huge change in the way you're able to work, because you're not just like and realistically, if you don't have dust collection, you should be wearing like a full like
Hazmat suit?
yeah, like you probably should, and you should definitely at least be wearing a respirator at that point, because there's literally like the cloud of dust is intense, and at least when you have dust collection, it doesn't totally eliminate that. You should still wear that thing, but I mean, it's absolutely a necessity when you don't have dust collection.
Right, and I feel like a lot of people probably don't even realize that.
I mean, I probably don't. I mean, even like the little like dust masks don't really do a whole lot. It helps a lot, but it still doesn't filter everything out. So, I mean, if you really wanted to go like proper with it, you should be wearing like a positive pressure face thing that has an actual respirator in it, and your whole head is shielded. Like your head's like in like a spacesuit helmet essentially, and the air is pumped in there, so dust doesn't come into it because air is constantly pushed out through it. So when you start looking at like what you actually should be wearing when you're doing that, one of those things is like $600 or $800.
Wow.
So at that point you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe a dust collector might be a better investment.
Right.
At that sense, but is it like a garage?
Yeah, well, it's that 10 by 20 workshop. It's a shed.
Okay, so a shed. So like running the power tools, probably have the doors open and windows and everything.
Right, but then you can just get dust collection too.
I would definitely advise that. Like, but the thing with it is like when you're starting out, there's like budgetary constraints. You're like, okay, I could spend, I don't know, let's say $1,000 right now. I could get a dust collector, or I can get some other tool to allow me to do other things. So it becomes it's quite the conundrum when you're at that point, because you're like, I really want these other tools so I can do all these other things, but I would really like to have like not sawdust everywhere and not be like living in a cloud of dust all the time.
Okay. So what would you say are some absolute must-haves? Other than proper dust collection, like safety and health are a big priority, but dust collection, sure. Is there anything else besides that you'd say, like, after you have like your basic tools, probably like you said.
What did you say you had? Can you go back to that one?
Yeah.
Miter saw.
He has a miter saw, table saw, planer, the basics. So I'd say like you want like a workbench.
Do you have a Halo workbench?
I don't know. But I'm saying like that's like a general basic that people may not even think about, is like you have these tools. Now it's like, well, where am I going to make the thing?
That's right. But here's the issue, I guess. When you're at a 10 by 20 space, you have to be very, very cautious and cognizant of like what you're putting into that space, because you're going to run out of space very quickly. And what is worse than running out of space, having too much stuff, is like not having, like putting too much stuff in there and then you can't move around.
Oh, right.
And you're like, okay, I can't do anything. So even just, it's going to be very difficult to do it in that space, but having empty space. Just like, this is my empty space that is a fluid, versatile area that I can put projects as they're being put together, like this chest of drawers. Like, if I wanted to get this off my workbench, I would have like somewhere to put it on the floor, or like some other little area, so I can actually have somewhere to assemble things. Like he was talking about building a table. You got to have somewhere to put the table as you're working on it. And whether that's on your workbench the whole time, which is it's probably going to get old, because you're not going to be able to do anything on your workbench while you're making the table. Having an open space in the shop to put the table as you're working on it is going to be huge. That's going to be, again, difficult. Tables are big. 10 by 20 is not a whole lot of space for tables that you're making and everything else.
From Anthony, small shops, use your walls.
Yeah, I mean, you have walls. If you have a higher ceiling, like on your ceiling height, you can do things with different elevations. So you have to be very creative and like very efficient with your space at that size, which is kind of nice too, because like if you just jump into like a giant space, you have this tendency to be like very inefficient with the space. If all the space, I can put things all over the place, doesn't matter as much. when you're in a small space, it actually can be more efficient because all your things are close by, and you have to be very thoughtful of how you lay things out so that things are efficient, and you're not keeping things in your shop you don't use. That was a big thing for me, especially in the old shop when I had even less space than I do now, is getting the things that I don't ever use the heck out of my shop. And realizing that I'm probably never going to use this, just get rid of it.
Right, yeah. Like, why am I hoarding this?
Yeah. You're going to find that like as you get into making projects out of your 200 board feet, you're going to end up with all kinds of offcuts and things that you're like, oh, I'm going to use this for whatever someday. You're never going to use it. Just get rid of it.
Give it to someone else who might want it.
That's what I do. I get someone else. This is your problem now. I feel good because I'm not just throwing it away or burning it.
Right.
And now it's your problem. We make cutting boards, which is what I used to do with all my scraps, is make cutting boards out of them all. So you can still do that, but just to keep in mind, if you don't eliminate everything, it's just going to just grow. Just
like your house, right? I feel like I constantly at our old house would go through the basement and be like, get rid of all this stuff. And somehow it like, I don't know, it multiplies, okay? It's like gremlins. They just keep making more of them, so.
Well, with every project you make with woodworking, like you're going to have offcuts.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yep. Constantly. All right, wait. I just saw another question, and now I lost it. Oh, here we go. All right, so I want to make a few end grain cutting boards. I have big stumps that I was going to slab off, but I need a thicknesser. Craigslist or save up for the big bucks?
Buy a thicknesser?
Yeah.
Mine are all used. Well, this one's used, I guess. My first one was used. Nope. I've had 4. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I have gone down the upgrade path quite a bit. So the one I have now was used. If you get into like the stationary like planers, the used is fine. Like you can't hurt these things. They're so heavy and ridiculous.
So you'd say go to Craigslist and get a used one.
I don't know. I'm a fan of used stuff because, I mean, if you have time, this is the thing. Like, if you want to buy new, I mean, right now it's kind of weird because you can't get everything all the time. But the advantage of going new is like you can order today and it shows up and then you're done. The advantage of used is hopefully someday you can find a good deal. You got to keep your eyes open and you got to go look at it and pray that it actually is like not.
Turn it on, make sure it works.
Something you don't see isn't like going to break soon or whatever.
We've done that with like cars.
Yeah, so that is less of a concern with the large stationary machines because like there's not a whole lot to them and they are just made of cast iron. So there's not a whole lot of like things that can really break on them. If the motor runs, you put a board through it, it doesn't bog down. And the blades are sharp in there and it doesn't bog down, it's probably fine. Like, you turn the handle, the table goes up and down, like, there's not a whole lot that happens with those things. So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, from Alex, how do I get some Cremona cutoffs? First, message me.
Yeah, bother her.
I respond to stuff.
Bother her about it, and then I'll end up boxing them up.
Yeah, that's true. I'll make him then do it, but I'll actually bug him because I check stuff off my to-do list. I'm well, obviously, the amount of messages that I get in comparison to what Matt gets are not comparable. So I read every single message I get, and I respond to every single message I get because I can.
Yes, you can, yeah.
Because I can. I have that luxury.
Must be nice, huh?
I mean,
what a life you have.
I have a wonderful life. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for noticing.
I did notice. Thank you.
So if you honestly live in the area and want them, otherwise if you live far away, I don't know. I don't know how you do that then, but that is my mom.
I'm not doing it.
That's not doing it, I guess. So you need to live close.
Locals only.
Locals only. But if you live like close and like send me like how much it costs to ship it, I probably could get Matt to ship it. Okay, he says no. He says no.
How many things do you want me to do every day?
This is how it is every time. I'll be like, just do this for this one person.
Yeah. Great. It's called setting precedent.
Okay. Well, it's pretty easy. If you send nice things, I'm usually like, yeah, okay.
Great. Great.
Great.
So great.
Hey, question about the thicknesseners, which is like a planer, right? Is that just like the fun?
That is a British way of saying planer.
Oh, I thought they were just being like something I would say about, I put like cutesy words to stuff. That's what I thought it was.
You're very British, apparently.
Yeah, my maiden name was Watson, so, yeah. All right, does the end grain do well? I thought belt planer sanders worked better with that.
The issue with putting an end grain board or cutting board through a planer is it can explode.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That feels dangerous. Like literally explode.
Yeah, because it's end grain, so the blades will hit and they'll actually split the whole board apart, and it becomes little pieces, and those pieces get kicked around in the blades, and then basically just disintegrates.
Right, like so. I'm looking at a planer right now. It's
Yeah.
gonna come out and just go
I'll come out that way.
back to you
If you're standing over there, yeah.
because this is so it's gonna feed back to me and explode in my face.
That's the risk, yeah.
Holy hell!
That's the honest. That's the actual risk. Does that happen? Nah.
And don't say that part.
Not super.
As an attorney, I tell you not to answer that question.
It can totally happen, but the issue I have with it a lot of times is the surface finish is pretty terrible.
You are a terrible client. I told you to stop
You're
answering
welcome.
the question.
You're welcome. So I always use the router sled as a fast way of flattening, because I found it to be faster using a planer anyway. And the battery on this camera's gonna die anyway.
Is it really right now?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like this from Ben. Just do this one time for the 5th time. All wives everywhere.
That's exactly what my life
That is exactly what life is. He's over there grabbing a new one. Oh, I can hear Pancake. She's asleep. I should bring her up.
Okay, we're gonna go black for a second.
We're gonna go black for a second.
Yep. See you for a second. There you go.
It's back.
Look at that. It's like I know what I'm doing sometimes.
It's just.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
So no more talking about cutting boards through the planer. We done with that? If you go back and watch my shop update from September of 2014, I do a demo.
you make it explode in your face,
No, but I show what like the surface finish is like with the straight knife planer.
and it's no good.
Yeah, I think it's September 14th, 2014.
How do you remember that date?
I'm stupid like that.
You're like, I got it right here.
It was just out of the week before. But the thumbnail is me like standing by a
Then,
cutting
like-
board or something. I think it was the 14th though. It was after Woodworking in America, I think. Or it was before.
Okay.
I don't remember. It was September 2014. Back in the day.
Oh, I like this because this is on there. By the way, I'm not British. I say thicknesser because of the label on yours, Matt.
Oh, perfect. Even
He
better.
does have that on there. I thought that was just like a funny little kitschy thing because it's very
It
mad.
is funny and it is kitschy because
Like-
that's the British word for it.
Oh, I just thought you wrote it to yourself to be like silly, to be like, go this way, it makes it thicker. This way, makes
I put that sticker on there when I was prepping the guitar body blank. I have a video where I do that because I'm like, I'm going to England to make this guitar, so I call all the tools by the British names.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
It's like get ready, you know. 'Cause-
Get ready to know.
So I fit in.
Be
I
like
get
one of the
there.
cool kids.
Yeah.
You're like, hey guys.
Because you go there, you want to run a board through the planer, they're gonna look at you like you're some kind of dumb American, you know?
You're like, where's the bathroom? And they're like, haha, it's called the loo, you dum dum.
You dumb. No tea for you.
No tea for you. Oh shoot, what did Matt say? The other Matt. He said that it was like you get biscuits with butter and jam. I forget. Like he said, like if you put it with butter and jam, or I don't know, or which way you put first, it matters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
What are you talking about?
He said, okay, you go to get tea, and then they bring you like scones, which is probably not the British word. It's probably like biscuits or something like that. And then he was like, and then you make sure you put butter and jam on it, or you don't put butter and jam on it, or it matters you put butter first, then jam, or vice versa. That was a conversation we had.
Okay, good.
Apparently, the important piece of how to show that I'm classy, which way to put butter and jam, did not stick.
Didn't
but
stick at all.
He knew.
Don't worry about it.
He's like, no, she's not
You'll
going to.
figure out next time you go there.
No, he's going to go. She's not ever going to trick anyone.
She's never coming back. We're not letting her in.
We're not letting her in. No. Her kind left.
That's it.
Her family left, and so never again. Scones. See? Okay, scones. It felt like too American, because that's what we call them. So, no.
I mean, you can call it like a sconce.
Butter and cream. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Butter and cream.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yes. Oh, I thought you didn't know.
Now I remember some conversation about this because I actually went to, I think it was when there was April and Mark.
It is. See, it is a big deal if the clotted cream or the jam goes on first. Trust me. Not crazy. Oh,
Okay,
and the answer is butter first. Now I know. Unless Max is trying to trick me, and if he's like my Max, he
Only
might
wants
be.
butter.
He might be. Actually, our Max
Just
only
give him a
wants
stick of butter. That's all he wants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just happy with that.
All right, here we go. This is different. Scones, jam, whipped cream. I don't know. Max says the other
This is
way.
intense. Look what you've done. You've stirred up some kind of debate.
And it's called a washroom, not a loo. Even got it wrong.
Canada.
Oh, in Canada. Well, yeah, you know that. You're from Canada.
Yeah. So you wash up.
Yeah.
Your butt.
Such a weird.
Yeah, you married me.
I know. I think about
Might have
that.
been a mistake. I don't know. Regretful act.
Too late now.
That's it. You're in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this is funny though. Okay, so British biscuits are called American cookies. That's so in Canada too. They have those biscuits, little teething biscuits. What are they called? Mr. something cookies. What are they called? I think your dad got us like 1 million of.
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Christie.
Okay, you did remember. You remembered. So we had Mr. Christie's teething biscuits, and because of that, we gave them to our kids all the time when they were teething. So now they do call various cookies that kind of look like that, biscuits. So they're like half British,
What are
half.
they called? Business biscuits?
They do call those biscuits.
All right. You got any actual questions?
Okay, first of all, that was really important.
After your tangent of biscuits and cream and jam and whipped cream and other creams,
Yeah, see?
jellies.
Arrowroots. Karen knows.
There you go. Arrowroots.
They are arrowroots, but Mr. Christie's, yeah. I call them biscuits, I guess.
Apparently everyone knows what these things are.
Yeah, because
Everyone knows this stuff.
I'm not making it up. I think that Matt thinks sometimes I make these things up, which I would do.
You're not that creative.
What are you talking about? Oh, man.
I'm not getting dinner tonight.
I'm not making dinner tonight. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to make. I'll make something, but I'm not sure yet. All right, here's a real question from
Okay, I'm ready.
Steve.
I'm ready.
Steve's like, let's wrap it. This is a woodworking place. Come on. Does armor seal work well on end grain and epoxy? I have a wood round with epoxy that I want to make into a Lazy Susan.
Yep. This is armor seal. On epoxy.
And it's good.
And end grain. End grain, epoxy,
And
armor seal.
that's why we keep it there for questions like this.
How convenient. How did you know? It's a perfect setup.
It's like as if you like quickly texted Steven and was like, ask this question. I'm tired of
Better
talking
ask this
about
question. Someone better
cottage
ask about this
cream.
thing.
All right.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. All right. Well, it's 5 o'clock. I need to go up to relieve our nanny. So you can hopefully find some British questions
Well, is there one or not? Otherwise, we just say you next week.
right here from Alan.
Okay, I'm ready.
Matt, what is your tipping point when deciding to build a sawmill versus continuing to use the chainsaw?
I had a lot of big logs and the opportunity to do it.
So that's it. Also, I would say Matt never, I feel like it's partially like the way that he was raised is that he's just very much like, let's just do it. Like, you're not afraid of not knowing the answer. You just go figure it out and do it yourself. So I feel like at a certain point, you're like, I think I could do this better. I'm going to figure out how to do it. And I'm just going to make it.
That's really what it was, because you couldn't really buy there's a few now there's a lot more wide cutting bandsaw mills, but back then there were you had 2 options to buy a wide cutting bandsaw mill, and they were really expensive, or they were expensive but not really well made. So I was like, you know what, let's see what we can do here.
I would say probably that's Matt's best quality, is that anything he doesn't know how to do, that is not a deterrent from doing it. He's just like, let's figure out and do it. So
how I got where I am today.
That is exactly like that's his entire life. It's just like, no, I'll just figure it out. Not worried about it.
Yeah.
Hence, how he learned to woodwork is like because it was before YouTube. Is that he would just like pick up books, just learn from there.
And then we'll go practice.
Yeah.
And then with the sawmill, like now I have the plans.
That's right.
I guess so. I did all the work for you.
Which is why you documented it, because you were like someone else. I'm not special.
Especially back then, because nobody. I don't think anyone's done any like. Well, I mean, maybe like one or two have been like decently in depth sawmill builds, but when I was building that in 2016, there weren't no videos that like walk you through the process from someone who's never done a whole lot of fabrication before. The only videos of like homemade sawmills there were that actually like of the actual construction was someone was making it and they put a GoPro in the corner and they tell you nothing about anything.
Right.
And you're like, I don't know what any of this stuff is that you're doing or how to find these things. What is that called? I don't even know.
So you were like, I'll make it easier for the next person.
So I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to document it as well as possible so that if someone else wants to build their own sawmill, it's going to be
They can.
very, very easy. Or like, the barriers to entry are eliminated.
Right. All right. You have like now a lot of questions.
Okay.
So you can answer a couple of them and I'm going to head up. But say hi to Earl from
Hello,
Connecticut.
Earl.
I've never been to Connecticut.
Yeah, take you places.
Yeah.
Take me somewhere.
It's my fault he's not been. I held him back and said, don't go.
Is that what it was? That
No,
was
you weirdo.
That
You
was
say like
you?
you never take me places as if you don't have your own 2 feet.
All right, well, what's the next question?
Bandsaw Blades.
What kind of bandsaw blades do we use for the curved row fronts? So probably like, I'm assuming on the whatchamacallit, this thing, the Serpentine chest. I'm just going to use my 1/2-inch carbide blade with the 3 TPI because it's already on there. And the curves are sweeping enough that that blade can follow those curves. And the other thing is like, I don't take that blade off. So even if the curve is tighter than I need, I'm never really cutting anything furniture-wise where I actually need both sides of the cut. So I can make relief cuts into the waist side so I can actually make the curve if it's too tight for the natural curve of the blade. So that blade never, ever comes off. Got to figure out where she left me here. I'll answer this, I guess, real quick. All right, from Dave. What about the Laguna, the dust collector, did I not like? So first off, because it is a short, compact dust collector, it has pretty poor fine separation. So it's like, I came from a single stage dust collector where you have to clean the filter all the time. You still have to do that on this collector. Like you have to constantly clean it. So it's not really like a true cyclone where you only have to clean the filters every so often. You have to clean the filters all the time. And especially if you're going to use anything that is very fine dust producing, like if you're going to use it with a drum sander, expect the dust to bypass the entire cyclone and go right into the filter. So you'll clean the filter again. The other thing I didn't like about it was the absolutely horrendous and ridiculously terrible assembly process. I've never put together something that I hated more in my entire life. So by the time I got it assembled, I already hated it and had never used it. If you do buy one, take the instruction manual, throw it away, and go watch their video online. I didn't know they had an assembly video. I wish they would have put some kind of insert in the box that said, go watch the assembly video. And to my knowledge of the people who have bought them now, they still have the same exact documentation in the box as when I bought mine 2 years ago, whatever it was. So they haven't really made any effort to make it any better from like the user experience. So going into it thinking I bought a premium, like high-end, good user experience machine, I was let down on that side. The other thing that they don't really tell you or put in the manual is that every single nut and bolt on there, you should probably Loctite or like take your impact wrench and just like ugga-dugga the bejesus out of that fastener, because they will over time loosen and vibrate and come apart. So I'm missing a lot of nuts and bolts on mine because I didn't Loctite everything. So that's kind of annoying. And then the collection drum isn't super durable either. If you're only like rolling it on concrete every now and then, it's probably going to be fine. But if you have any kind of uneven surface trying to roll it across, you're probably going to bend the casters because they just bolt onto the sheet metal bottom. and the sheet metal bottom will give way. You end up with some kind of crazy wavy bottom thing. So I would never buy it again. I wouldn't recommend anybody buy it. I would recommend looking at, if you need a short cyclone unit, I would probably look at other brands that are less annoying to use. If you have this, I gave the same exact advice, I guess, or like insight in like the follow-up video I did on the collector. If you have the ceiling height for a full-size collector, just buy a full-size collector. Don't buy a short one. Did that go? Okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought I didn't go over. How much the materials for the bandsaw mill? So I built mine. A friend of mine gave me the linear bearings and rails. He salvaged them from work. They were throwing them away, and the motor. So that saved me a bunch of money. If you buy everything brand new, about $15,000. And I don't know where the steel prices are right now. Steel prices, or the steel component, like this hot roll steel component of the sawmill, was about $4,000, so about 25% or so of the total cost of the build. So if steel is up 20% over what I'm expecting, still under 5,000, so something like that. All the actual expensive parts are like the machined parts. Yes, so I think we showed this last week. We got the Serpentine chest of drawers over here. This is going to be a 6-part video series, and I have just wrapped up part number 3. I'll turn the camera and show it so you guys can take a look at it. It is a curved front dresser, or chest of drawers, or whatever you want to call it. On your camera, there we go. Ugh. So you can kind of see the whole front of the case has this kind of fun curve to it, and we'll have 4 drawers in there that follow that curve. We'll have a nice top that has a curve as well, or has that curvature, and then a set of OG bracket feet that also has that curvature to it. So, the basics of a solid wood chest of drawers. So you got a dovetailed case with dovetailed drawer dividers and Morrison tenon runners and drawer guides and everything. But we have the added excitement of a curved facade to the front versus just a flat one, which you would normally have. They don't have to love me. Whatever. I don't have to, I can burn bridges. Oh man. Okay, smaller burls. So you can use them as accent pieces as well. So I did a project, I made a small box. When was that? A few years ago. It's like it's on the channel. It's a mitered box with a sliding lid that is a piece of burl. So instead of just a normal piece of wood for the top, I have a burl thing that slides in and out of the top. So you can do that with burl. I mean, you can use, I think boxes are like a nice kind of fun thing to use burls for because they're smaller and the burl acts as a nice kind of accent piece, but you can use burl as accent pieces and all kinds of things. Turnings is obviously like one of the core uses of burls because you can do pens, you can do bowls, you can do bottle stoppers, like handles for things. You can do all kinds of stuff with burls in the turning world. In the furniture world, because you're trying to get things you're kind of in this flat kind of world, it gets a little more interesting and unique. So you can do, also, for small stuff, maybe probably not that great, but you can do veneer with them. So you can slice it into veneer and glue it to a substrate. You can do, if you have the actual burl, you can saw sequentially, and you can do a whole lot of fun patterns and things with the sequential slices. When Scott Grove was here, we did a video on a radial veneer pattern. So you can do a radial veneer with them. So that allows you to get a much bigger coverage out of a smaller piece. So that's another option as well. And of course you can do like an epoxy panel, so you can pour epoxy around the burl so you can keep the shape of the burl, but also maintain, or so you maintain the natural shape, but you also get your flat panel out of it. So in this case, like this crazy piece of wood is now rectangular and acts as a rectangular piece of wood in a project. It's a hate-hate relationship. It really is. With lumber prices so high now, are you being tapped to make commercial wood? No, I mean, I don't really saw for, I guess, other people or stuff like that, so the lumber prices don't really affect the lumber side of my business. I mean, that's all I ask. It's just like, have good documentation. Like honestly, like the thing that bothers me the most is that a company thought that this was good documentation to put in this thing, and then they continue to leave it in the box and not add any kind of insert or do anything to try and improve this for the customer. Like, customer experience is like one of my like big things I care about. Like, if a company has and provides a good customer experience, I will use that company or go to that company, even if company X over here offers it at a lower price. I'd rather pay more for better experience. That's just me. But that's probably because that's kind of, before I did this, one of my core job responsibilities at my old job was user experience and customer experience. So it was literally my job to make sure our customers could like use our product and enjoy our product and actually like want to use it because it actually helps them. They're not fighting with it all the time. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in. This one ran long. Good questions, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you get some time in the shop, enjoy your time in the shop. And all that stuff. I have, what, 2 videos come out this weekend, so you'll see those. Wanted to see a video of a Sawmill move? The actual release will probably be in 3 weeks, but if you follow some breadcrumbs somewhere, you'll find the actual link to that video. This is the answer. Once you put that there and you go through that experience, no other, you're like, you shake your head at the documentation that other like power tool companies provide. Because you're like, what? How has no one thought, oh, this is a good idea. Let's make it all super easy, really good manuals and everything. I put the clear view, like that was another one that was like super good too. Everything was laid out really nicely. The instruction manual made sense. It didn't like make me question anything, and I put it together the correct way the first time. Unlike the other dust collector, which you go down this road, you're like, oh, this is wrong. I gotta take it apart again. All right, I hope you have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I will see you, well, you'll see me tomorrow. Bye.